I often hear women say, oh, I always attract bad men. I always attract toxic men. I'm always attracting the wrong kind of man. And there's a reason why I don't really agree with this sentiment. The simple fact is, attraction is random for the most part. The people who choose you, random. However, selection is intentional. You have no control, again, for the most part. Sometimes you have a level of control, like the hair you rock, the clothes you wear. But generally, the control you have over the men who are attracted to you is limited. But you have so much control over the type of man you choose.
While this advice may seem practical, it's still the same advice as marry a kind man. And if you guys know anything about me, you know I always find this kind of advice problematic. And before we have typing warriors for their fave in the comment section, this is not a hate towards this creator or anything like that. The way you like her, I like her too. So, but then the nuances around this conversation is what I intend to discuss, okay? When saying things like the person you choose and marry a kind man, choose a kind man, that kind of puts a lot of responsibility and blame on women. You cannot hold someone responsible over another person's character or another person's behavior. There is no woman who is actively choosing an unkind man or choosing somebody who knows that the person will be dangerous or harmful to them. Women are presented with a certain persona by these men, okay? And they go into committed relationship based on what this man tells them or what he shows them. And then they come out of it based on what he tells them and what he shows them eventually. So you cannot hold women responsible for men's behavior. And while that may not be the intent of this creator, those are the things that messages like this further promotes. And yeah, while everybody should be responsible for the decisions they make, women's issues are more systemic than individualistic. So when somebody is trying to address systemic issues with individualistic approaches, it kind of gives off this, I have chosen a good man, so I'm teaching you how to choose that good man. But the issue is this: when it comes to man-woman relationship, there is no way to say that this person has actually chosen and then this thing has worked if the relationship has not ended. You cannot give you cannot conclude on anything until it has come to an end. And with marriages coming to an end, it means one person has to die before you can attest the quality of the partner that that person had, okay? And why? Because generally, it doesn't matter. People can change at any time. And aside from that, men systemically are problematic. Men generally are problematic. No matter how hard a woman tries to explain how, if you choose this man, if you do this thing, if you do this thing, those exact pattern, those exact blueprints that you're giving to a woman to say, if you do this, pick this kind of man, do this, do this, do this, a woman can follow that thing exactly, and her results will still turn out in abuse. And that is the nuance that people are refusing to accept. So why I find videos or messages like this harmful is because at the end of the day, this creates a safe space for people to blame victims, okay? When it's now, it will always boil down to, she did not choose wisely, she did not choose a kind partner, she did not choose a better partner. But that is not the problem. We are refusing to acknowledge the exact problem that men are problematic. And the problem that women have with men is that it is systemic. This system protects men and encourages them to be problematic. A person can be married for 10 years and assume that they are married to a great partner, right? Which is very subjective. In fact, the whole concept of a great partner or a wonderful partner or whatever, it is very subjective, because by the time you put certain lenses on those relationships that you think they are so great, you will find out that there are actually problems that that person who considers their relationship great is choosing to ignore, or the person has also been conditioned to see that those things are not problematic, but that is in fact, those things are in fact problematic, okay? So no matter the partner that the person chooses, as long as you are still partnered with a man, you did not choose wisely. That is the thing, because you cannot put that blame on women all the time. Men are the problem, and there are systems that enables them to be problematic. And until we come to the realization of this thing generally as women and stop with the I chose greatly, so I'm teaching you how to choose greatly, we will not make headways. We will not make any, like, there will not be any difference, because it has to be, these problems are systematic. We must approach it systematically with a single voice, not this individualistic, oh, choose this person, choose this person. If the population of men, let's even assume there's this great guy genuinely, and the population of women are like, population of men are like 41 and women 51 and women 49. That is the population of human beings generally. Out of these 51%, less than 1% of them actually make up this great guy that you're talking about. So we have like 49% of women who they are now teaching to aspire to choose from that demographic. You don't have control over how a person will treat you. You don't have control over it. It is so much of the system. The problem is majorly the system, not the person. So individualistic approach cannot solve this issue. Now, that's by the way. Don't come for me saying, oh, I'm trying to be hateful. Just like her own content is not for everybody, my content is not for everybody. I'm just also using her video as a teaching moment. So all the keyboard warriors, please, I don't have energy for any of you today, I beg. Now, that is not to say you cannot disagree or give, but don't just come and do this. If you're disagreeing, explain yourself.